Well, many thanks for keeping it, KTN. My name is Abi Agina, and you're just in time for today's Business Chat segment. And we'll be focusing on a recently done acquisition by Flametree. And joining me on set is the Flametree Group Managing Director, Heril Bangera. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Perhaps just take us through what was the main decision that informed your recent acquisition of Chirag Kenya.
Flametree Group operates in various segments: trading, FMCG, and in plastics. We see growth in the various sectors that we operate in. However, we see higher growth within the FMCG sector, and as a strategy for the company, we want to grow and see our top line in the FMCG sector grow. We saw the opportunity to acquire the brands from Chirag Kenya. We saw that the brands fit well with the products that we manufacture. We already have a foods division. Acquisition of the brands from Chirag Kenya increase our revenue within our foods portfolio by about 300%. It also brings in top line revenue of over about 6% into the group. So we see this as a good fit, and I think it's a good benefit to all our shareholders.
And maybe just still sticking to the acquisition, share with us what was the value of the deal, and also what are the other details surrounding the employees who are currently working for this company.
We've taken over all the brands and assets of the company, so that we've taken over the brands that we see potential, and the employees and the manufacturing assets of the company.
Yeah.
However, as you said, the value of the transaction, the company had a turnover of about 90 million, which would come into our top line. We are not disclosing the value of the transaction at the moment.
Why not?
We still want to finalize the transaction totally. We are still pending competition authority, the nods and approvals from them.
How much is it estimated at?
No,
just a rough estimate.
At this stage, we won't be able to, unfortunately, disclose that. Yeah.
I like what you say, that you are considering this sector because you've witnessed that it's an area that is a key growth frontier for your company. And perhaps just take us through as well, in regard to this particular venture, how significant is it for your company?
For us, it's an interesting and exciting acquisition, mainly because it is again within the FMCG sector. We see the FMCG sector growing very strongly, not just in Kenya, but within Africa, for various reasons, because we see the income levels within Africa growing, and we also see the populations growing. Saying that, within FMCG, we see the growth of food being very strong. Chirag Africa now has a brand, the 4 brands that we've taken over are mainly Nature's Own, which has a very strong presence within the spices business. We see good opportunity to spread this brand across the continent. We see Chigs as another brand within the potatoes crisps segment. We already have a brand within our portfolio called Happy's. This complements our brand very strongly because it also improves the efficiencies within the business. And the other brands that we've acquired are Go Nuts. Again, we have a similar product, and we have a brand now that we've acquired which is called Honeywell, which makes a homemade kind of biscuit, which we see as a special segment which we can improve and grow as well.
And the food business has indeed registered growth across the economy. And looking at the area you're venturing into, it's one of the most lucrative areas, as well as it's one of the most competitive as well. What would be your strategy to penetrate the market?
I agree with what you say. However, having a strong brand helps you strengthen your foothold. Nature's Own has a very strong presence within Kenya. It seems to be widely accepted. Chigs again has a wide distribution. Now, for us as Flametree Group, acquiring these assets of the Chirag Kenya gives us the distribution penetration that they had to spread the brands even further, and also our brand, which is Happy's, can piggyback on their distribution channels to increase the growth of our own internal brands as well.
Interesting. So you're saying you'll be leveraging on the brand profiles that are already in the market?
Yes, because our segment of foods was much smaller, and we've acquired a bigger brand company.
And do you feel the consumer spending on this particular kinds of foods is an area that is poised for growth?
Yes, we are now in two segments. One which is an essential segment, which is spices, which is growing as the population grows. Again, we are in the snacks business, which is impulse purchase. Within the impulse purchase, we see that the income levels of the shoppers are going up.
Yeah.
And with the formal retail growing across Kenya and across the continent, we see that the impulse purchase again is growing. So we see the opportunity in both the businesses that we are in.
And maybe are you considering other business lines, knowing very well that the snacks you've mentioned go hand in hand with the juices as well? Any plans around that?
At the moment, we as Flame Tree Group, we are always looking at ways to grow our business organically and through our acquisitions. Unfortunately, I cannot disclose our future plans right now. But we need to grow our business, and we see opportunities in various segments that we operate in.
And one would also want to know, in the event that down the road another strategic investor comes on board, are you likely to consider such a move?
A strategic at this stage, we floated our Flame Tree Group floated on the GEMS stock market. We raised money. So at the immediate situation that we see ourselves is, we don't look like that we're looking for a strategic investor at the moment.
And maybe as you also wind up, what's the outlook like for Flame Tree?
I can't comment on our 2014 numbers at this stage.
Okay.
We should be announcing them in the near future. But I can say for the continent that we operate in Kenya and Africa, and the future is extremely bright in the sectors that we operate in.
Well, many thanks there, Harold Bangera, for joining us.
Thank you.
And in case you're wondering, Bangera started this particular company when he was around 18 years of age.
That's right.
And he relied quite a lot on his father's input, and the company has grown to now actually go beyond the boundaries